Hi, I'm Bria Bryant, Global CMO at Assembly, and I am here at the Possible Conference with Anthony Purritano, Head of Sales at Nextdoor.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited. I love Nextdoor, so I'm excited to talk
That means so
about
much to me. I would love Assembly, as I was just saying. I love your account teams, and I'm already loving you.
Amazing. I mean, what's not to love? No.
Right.
Just kidding. So tell us a little bit about Nextdoor.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nextdoor is the neighborhood hub. We have verified neighbors at verified addresses, making us uniquely positioned in the marketplace. There's no media weights in the land of, in the digital ecosystem, in the land of bots. Nextdoor is the platform that has verified neighbors at verified addresses.
Amazing. How do brands engage with Nextdoor? 'Cause this is something that I don't think most people would understand.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is we get uniquely positioned as local, which we are the essential local app, but we have the scale, and I think that's the common misconception, is that Nextdoor is specifically for local.
Yeah.
And I think for advertisers, as they think how they give a local experience at a national scale, you come to Nextdoor. And Nextdoor has that incremental reach. We have a very affluent audience because we skew towards homeowners. 74% of our neighbors are homeowners. So you're really reaching that household decision maker, that individual with the credit card, that individual with that purchasing power. And so Nextdoor is just different in the marketplace, making us like a nice complement to the other marketing strategies. I would never say don't advertise here, don't advertise there.
Yeah.
But Nextdoor is that beautiful complement that you may not be getting on other channels.
You are responsible for incredible growth for Nextdoor.
Yes, thank you.
What are the key principles that you employ, or what's your secret sauce? What can you credit to that success?
So, prior to Nextdoor, I was at a company of 15,000 people. So, as those that have been, a lot of red tape.
Yes.
I joined Nextdoor for a unique and different experience. So, I joined in year one of monetization, and when on day one, the philosophy I came with was grit. Like, you gotta have grit, you gotta have tenacity, and as a leader at the organization, I lead by example. I'm willing, I don't care about titles, I'm willing to get on calls, I'm willing to put every effort in with my team, and then recognizing my team, and those that celebrating wins. I think it's great for culture and important for culture and lifting people up, but also I think the most important is that my team knows that I'll join any call, any pitch, we can brainstorm, how do we drive the most value to our customers in unique and different ways.
I love that. I love a hands-on leader.
Yeah.
And somebody who's willing to roll up their sleeves. That's something that I believe in, even with my team. It's really important.
Yeah, titles are just...
Yeah, and it's important for people to feel like they're being supported across every aspect of the business. So automation has played a big role in scaling your sales operations. How are you all using that to drive efficiency, personalization, and also those smarter decision-making processes?
Yeah, I think in the technology and the age we're in, the age of AI we're in today, there's no excuses anymore. Advertisers, our customers, and myself, they demand excellence. And there's no reason. There's so many data sources out there, and there's so many tools out there to help us aggregate this information. So now you don't have to control F in a big a publicly traded report to find key pieces of information. There's these technologies out there that will do that legwork for you and find that synergy between the brand that you're working with and the Nextdoor. And I think there's a few tools out there. Notebook LM has become my favorite. But really, with RFP proposals and just general pitches, I think our advertisers, demand that level of excellence and making sure that you really truly understand what advertisers in their key moments in real-time data, what's happening. And I think the tools are there now, so there's no excuses anymore.
Totally. So the media landscape has become more fragmented than ever. How can brands better tap into neighborhood-led or hyper-local engagement?
Yeah. So I mentioned this earlier. Nextdoor has verified neighbors at verified addresses. And so that gives us a unique opportunity to leverage things like dynamic local substitution. And what I mean by that is you can run a campaign across all the US, but say it populates your neighborhood name. And that catches the eye, that makes things different. And what I'm most excited about is our multi-location ads. So imagine being able to upload thousands of line items and thousands of creatives. And a great example I can think of is, imagine if you're a wealth management company and you have or a real estate brokerage and you have, agents that are part of the community. Imagine that face being the creative, that local person that's a part of the community in that Nextdoor feed, a part of the ad. But from the advertiser's perspective, it's a low lift scenario. And I think there's very few channels that can do that.
Okay, so for the marketers tuning in, how can brands get involved with Nextdoor, and what are some of the most exciting innovations or opportunities you see on the horizon within the platform?
Yeah, I was before this, I was listening to my former colleague Jen Starr's interview, and she was talking about at that point in time, her line of business was just a managed service offering. So today we still offer that, but we also have a self-serve campaign management platform, which we call Nextdoor Ads Manager. So allowing those that prefer a hands-on keyboard approach to activate in real time. And I think what's most exciting, that's the future of Nextdoor, is we have our CEO came back, he was the founder, and he just joined Nextdoor again as our CEO. And what we're launching is what we like to call the next Nextdoor. And it's really going to be focused on three key things. First and foremost, how do we drive local news into our neighbors' newsfeed? So removing just the user-generated content, but how do we ingest publishers in as well to give more value to neighbors? Two, how do we bring real-time alerts? So Nextdoor has always been a channel in times of crisis that people will go to really seek and get help. And so how can we continue that with real-time alerts? And lastly, recommendations. For the last 14 years, recommendations has been at the forefront of the Nextdoor experience. And now, with all the machine learning and AI technology, we'll bring the neighborhood voice into those recommendations. So, you'll see, Stephanie Lawrence, neighbor she's now in Philly, and she loves this restaurant. That voice and those comments will be with a part of the recommendation experience. And I think that's just different. You have more confidence in that recommendation when you see a neighbor whose real name is a part of Nextdoor attached to that recommendation versus, say, a screen name.
Right. And what I love personally about Nextdoor is that the experience is positive versus some of the other neighborhood or I don't even know what you call them, but it's a scary experience. Yeah. You go in there and you see all of these people who've been, something horrible has happened to them, and I love that Nextdoor is not built around that.
Yeah.
And so it does feel like you get this sense of community, and you're able to see what your neighbors are doing and connect with them on a different, more personal level. I love that about it.
Yeah, and we've invested in that. We have things like kindness reminders. So, there's always times when we might be a little bit salty, and we may, it's easy sometimes to hide behind a screen and say something, but we've developed that technology that'll remind folks that this is, a platform built on kindness. And we want to be the place that you can have community conversations, but you can have those in a polite way.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be hostile.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you would like to leave the viewers with?
Oh my God. Well, there's a lot more to come. I'm excited for the future of Nextdoor. There's going to be a lot more that we'll be talking about in the near future. So the next Nextdoor is going to be a unique experience, and I'm excited for you all to see it, and I'm excited to talk to you about it in the future.
Yes. The next Nextdoor. I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been awesome. I know there's so much more in store.
Yes, thank you. And there's so much more between Assembly and Nextdoor, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Yes.
So thank you for having me, and hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Awesome. You too.